What's up, guys? This is Lewis back with another episode of Development, and today we got a special guest today, Mr. Andrew Laing.
Hi guys.
Hey,
Hey Louis.
so
How are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
A little bit sunburnt and a bit hot and sweaty. It's middle of summer here, and I'm loving it.
Good, good. In New York, it's cold right
Yeah.
now, so
Freezing. Yeah,
so
I feel for you, man. Feel for you.
so how have you been during the madness that we're still in with COVID and everything else?
Well, we're pretty lucky down here, because we're such a small country and an island. We closed our borders really early, so we do not have COVID in the country. We have it in managed isolation. So anyone returning to New Zealand has to go into managed isolation for 2 weeks. So we have cases there, but very few because so many New Zealanders are coming back. They just want to come to this safe place at the bottom of the world. So we are very lucky. So we can go out and about. We can socialize. We can go to, because there are music festivals, and we're having Pride here in Auckland at the moment. So there's parties. The streets are chaos. It's pretty awesome, and we are very, very grateful.
Oh man, that
It's also the
sounds
middle of summer, so so I'm loving it.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Me and my friend the other day was just talking about that, what we miss so much about what we can't have right now in New York or many other states, where music festivals or concerts or
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or sporting events to gather with friends and family or just regular people. It's
Well, you
crazy.
guys have to be so careful. I mean, I'm really hoping there aren't consequences from the Super Bowl from people getting together and
Yeah,
spreading it. And these new variants, the UK variant and the South African variant, they just sound scary, man. Scary.
yeah,
So please stay safe, people. Just be smart and stay safe.
yes, definitely. I've been trying to stay safe, mostly working home or like
Good, man.
mostly isolated at home, and then maybe go see a friend every once in a while, just to, because you need that socializing with friends, but we all try to
Absolutely.
stay safe.
Absolutely. Boy, that's part of what we need as human beings, is to
Yeah.
interact and be social. I live in a room with in a house with another guy. So at least there's someone around to, you don't feel so lonely. And we
Yeah,
do
yeah,
have a garden. So thank God. Thank you.
yeah. Well, let's forget all about this
Yeah,
COVID.
exactly. That's not
Let,
what we're here for.
yeah, let's talk about you. So what do you do for a living? Because I
I am an
know, but
actor. Yeah.
okay.
So I'm an actor and voice artist. I work mainly in theater, but so plays, musical theater. Uh, I pretty much whatever anyone's prepared to pay me for. I do film, TV, voice work is for ads, and I do a lot of narration for documentaries and talking books for the Foundation for the Blind here in New Zealand. And I have done several Power Rangers experiences. So I've done lots of characters for Rangers, which is enormous fun. But mainly my work is theater. That's where my heart is. And I sing whenever I get the chance to, that's where my heart is. So that's
That
me.
that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty awesome. I looked you up, and friends that introduced me to you. Thank you, Morphin Network. And
Yeah, thank you, Morphin Network.
and I looked you up, and a lot of your work that you've done, like, are well known that I've known, and then there's some I don't know. And one I want to really talk about, because this was one of my favorite TV series, and I know you wasn't on there much long, was Spartacus.
Oh yeah, yeah. The final episode of the first season, where I
Yes,
brilliantly
yes.
took the knife, the sword through the back of the head. So in the episode "Kill Them All," I was the first to die. Yeah, I
Yeah,
kind of
I had to. Honestly, I when I saw he was on Spartacus, I was really like, oh my god, he was on Spartacus, and I had to see which episodes he was on. And I had to go back just to see, it. And I was like, oh my god, that's him.
yeah.
And I was like,
Well,
wow, like
I only
I would
yeah
never
I
knew.
only yeah I kind of did it. I was a bit over being an actor at that time.
Okay,
And my
okay,
agent kind of convinced me to audition for it, to put me forward. And it was just that one episode. But, you know, tragically, Andy, who was playing Spartacus in that season, was battling some pretty severe disease at that time. So he wasn't able to, when they were going to go into the second season,
yeah,
he wasn't able to. So they hurriedly wrote this flashback season. So we all
mm,
got to come back from the dead 10 years younger. So I was in through that second season, which was a lot of fun, especially the last episode of that second season, the opening of the new Coliseum auditorium.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
that was enormous fun. Just working green screen and working with Lucy Lawless and John Hannah, who were amazing, and Stephen Lovett and Gareth Reeves, who are buddies of mine. We just had the best time. It was
That
pretty awesome.
oh, that's awesome to hear because I know he wasn't on there long, but like
Yeah,
any type of show like that is just awesome to just watch because all the
it
action
was
and
brilliantly done. Yeah, I'm really proud of my work in it, that I got to be in it, because it was such fun and it became such a phenomenon. It was great. Like, how many seasons did it go for? Like 7 seasons or something, 6 or 7 seasons.
yeah, six to seven seasons from what I remember.
But I'm part of it.
Yeah,
I'm part of the cult. That's fine by me.
yeah,
But it was really awesome getting to do that. Getting to do stunt work, getting to do the prosthetics, and this what became the CGI work
yes,
was
yeah.
great fun. The costumes were hideous because we were shooting
Mm.
it here in the middle of winter in these
Oh,
massive, massive unheated studios, and you're just in a robe and sandals. Fortunately, I kept all my clothes on. I felt so sorry for some of the others, those guys wearing nothing at all. But yeah, I got to do some really fun stuff. Really fun.
that that is pretty awesome. I'm glad I asked, and I'm glad I did my
Yeah,
research at the same
glad
time.
you like it. Thank you, buddy.
So talking about more of your televisions, I know, as you said, you've been on a lot of Power Rangers. You've been on Power Rangers from like the current season, from Beast Morphers, from
Yep.
Ninja Steel to Dino Charge to Mega Force,
Yeah.
and RPM and so on. And I'm probably missing one more. And I
Jungle
know you,
Fury,
yes, Jungle Fury. And
which I
I
actually
know.
was in rather than just doing a voice for. Yeah.
Mm. So how was your like all your experience with that? Like tell us more because I know I'm a big Power Rangers fan and
Yeah.
I know you did some voice work also. So tell us more about that.
It's fun. It's a great job. It's when you're an actor, you do anything that's going to make you money, really. And
Yeah,
we're a very
yeah,
small industry down here. So the fact that Rangers films here is so great for our industry. Just
yeah,
keeping the crew, the filmmakers, the set and props builders. Even though it's designed and comes from Japan, they reshoot so much of it here. So it's a fantastic part of our industry. And so every season, you sort of get traipsed out to do a voice demo for. Generally, it's just because they kill off the bad guys so often. You're generally only in for one episode. But I've had the very good fortune of getting a couple of lead bad guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Vengeance was the first one in about 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
I did that. We did the whole season. Sorry, so many little bugs are turning up in this place. And then again, I had this thrill last season with Beast Morphers of, Evox,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
so much fun. And then having to keep the secret that he was secretly Vengeance and got to do this great arc. And it's wonderful. It's so much fun to play something so outrageous,
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not to say it hurts like hell. The voice, it's a killer, man. It rips your voice to shreds, especially as soon as you get the fighting efforts. They just, because especially I'm really lucky as a trained singer, I can protect my voice. It's all about protecting your voice. So whenever I'm doing a show, I can't record. So I don't make myself available, or we try to spin it out so that it's done on my day off, so that you give your voice time to recover. But it's wild. I'm very, very grateful for the times that I've had. It's been great fun.
That is super awesome. Just to hear that, like, as I'm not a kid anymore, but as a kid growing up watching Power Rangers and including some of my friends, it's just cool to know that a lot of the work being done by these actors is just it's just awesome to hear everybody's different stories about it.
They love it. It's I mean, I've only appeared in it once, so that was with Jungle Fury, and for a really small time. But working on set, watching the stunt crew who generally come in from Japan. I mean, they're here at the moment filming, and these men and women are extraordinary. They're just masters of their craft, and watching them do the stunt work is fantastic, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I really believe it, that it can be like so much fun.
Oh, it really is. You get to play dress ups and silly buggers. It's mad, because it's mad, dude. It's just mad. But everybody gives it their all, and that I think shows in the product. People really care about it. And now that my best buddy Simon Bennett has just taken over as executive producer. He's the first non-American executive producer. And so I think this next season that will be coming out, probably the end of this year, next year, will be a brand new thing, and we'll have a whole new feel, and will be really exciting for all fans of Rangers. It'll take it to a whole new level.
That's good. That's good to hear. Do you get to like, when you're not on the show, or like not even in that series, let's say, I don't know what part of New Zealand they're in, but do you get to see like some action that you're like, oh, what's going on over there?
Oh yeah, I was funnily enough, I went to meet a friend over the other side of town last week, and because there's nowhere to park, just got the bus. And as I was going past the cathedral in Parnell, suddenly went, what the hell is that? And then realized that they were filming in front of this the Catholic cathedral, but there's this amazing sculpture that they were just doing fights on, and this little crowd had gathered round to watch and see what was going on. And it's wild, fantasy brought to life happening in your own city is really cool. It's really cool.
That is awesome. That I hope to one day just like see something like that, because I know like they do a lot of filming in New York also, but like you either get to see it from the distance, or like you know, if you're all caught up in work, you don't get to know it until the very end when somebody's like, "Oh, I was on the set," and I was like, "I
Yeah.
wish," you know. So who's your favorite villain that you've played so far?
Oh, Vengeance.
Okay.
Vengeance was great. I mean, look, I had a great time doing Evox because it was really vocally easy.
Yeah.
And he was pretty evil, though, pretty manipulative. But because I knew he was going to turn out to be Vengeance, got to really sort of imbue a lot of villainy into it. But
Yes.
doing Vengeance was great fun because he was just bad.
that
That was
is
fun.
that is pretty awesome. I gotta say, like, just knowing that, like, you know, all the voice work that gets to be done, like, you don't know the person behind that voice unless, like, you really do your research. And
Yeah,
a lot of the voice actors don't get much appreciation for it. They just want the actors that's on the set, that they just want to show them love. But you know,
so true.
voice actors are important also.
Yeah, absolutely. And but it's also great. I mean, I love it because you can just turn up. It doesn't matter what you're wearing, what you look like. You don't have to get in makeup and costume. You just go into this little booth, you put your headphones on, you stand in front of a screen, they show you some action, and then you can let your imagination run wild generally. And that's pretty glorious. It's pretty glorious.
That's cool. So what do you like better, being an actor, like on the set, or do you like doing voice work more?
Hmm. It really depends what it is, but
Okay.
I love being on stage. There's
Okay.
something there's something about the immediacy of it. Um, the fact that you spend, 5, 6 weeks crafting it and crafting it and crafting it and figuring it out, and then you can put it in front of an audience, and that every night, it's, even though you're doing the same thing, you bring your day to it, you bring everybody else that you're working with brings their thing, so everything is just sort of slightly different, and the audience react to things in a different way. But what I love is the space in between you and the audience. It becomes
Yes.
palpable. um it's, you feel, and they will react to different things that will lead you to say a different line in a different way, that at the end of a show, you suddenly going, right, of course, why why did I not figure that out 5 weeks ago? I love that. I love that immediacy. On set is, when you're on set in front of a camera, it's you're at the mercy of, because I mean, film and TV is a director's medium. A
Yes.
director, it's up to the director and the editor.
Yes.
Whereas on stage, I'm a bit of a control freak. I like being in charge of my performance, how an audience sees it. Whereas when you're doing film or TV, the director, depending on what take they use, or how the camera angle is, they're in charge, and you
Yes.
never know until you actually see it, which I generally don't. I can't watch myself. I find that
Okay.
excruciating. Even when I record stuff, it's like, do you want to listen to that back? It's like, no, 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 just tell me what was wrong with it and we'll do it again. I find it, I love doing what I do. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to see it. It just,
Definitely.
all I see is what's wrong, you know.
Okay. Yeah, you know, when editing, you know, my work after like doing a recording, it's like the same way. I don't want to hear myself because then I'd be like, oh, I sound silly, or I should have
I
acted
know,
a different way. So I understand you.
but it's also, it takes a long time to get used to the sound of your own voice, because what
Yeah.
we hear in here is so different from what everybody else hears.
Definitely.
But that's the fun thing about doing the voice work, is that you can manipulate it, by dropping your register, doing something way down there, or maybe going to, or the fun thing I had with Evox was just, I got to be a snake for
Yeah.
6-8 months, and discovering these other sounds, and that then will be manipulated by the incredible editors and engineers that we work with down at Inside Track, who do the recording for Rangers. They're so clever and put them through, I don't know, I'm a bit stupid, I don't know. They put them through filters and put sounds on them, and
Yeah.
me going, so it doesn't sound like you. It doesn't sound like me. And
Yeah.
I love that. That's great fun. That's fun. Because Vengeance was heavily treated. It was the lowest part of my register. Everything was down there, blah, 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 which was a great sound. But when they put it, because he was a computer virus, they put it through these amazing filters that when he, in last season, when Evox became Vengeance, they used the same filtering process that they had used, 10 years, 11 years ago on me. And it was so much fun. That's fun.
That's cool. Yeah, they had. I feel like even though the editing and the engineers have like the most hardest job at the end, but it's also so fun to just, just fixing it just a little bit, just to be like, this is what it should sound, or it's pretty crazy.
Well, they can change it. They can take it to another world, another level, and we come and do our job, and you're happy to have a job that you get the gig. But sometimes it just gets taken to a whole different side. Like the first voice I did for Rangers was Copy Otter, way back when, which was the stupidest thing. I was very new. I had, I've been an actor for a long time, but I sort of didn't become a voice artist until 15, 20 years ago. Just because I was busy, I was doing other things, I was on tour, or it had never been something that I'd done. And then so suddenly going, and I'm quite shy by nature. I'm not a particularly demonstrative person, and but I didn't know that when you go into that little booth and put the headphones on, there's an immense freedom to just, because you're not being watched.
Yeah.
You can forget that you're being judged, and that you can just explore. And I suddenly found all these different registers, these sounds that I had probably been making in my own head for my own entertainment, but that suddenly I was now being paid for it to make a total dick of myself. Oh, sorry.
No, you're okay.
Which is great, which is enormous, and it's really helped me in the other stuff that I do. It's made me a lot braver. To put myself out there and not be so afraid of making a fool of myself. Not that I've ever, when I'm on stage, I have no problem with making a fool of myself. In life, I really, really do. But when you're on stage or on a set or in a booth, there's a bravery because it's not you, or it's not me. I'm being a character, and I become much braver and the person that I really wish I was a lot more.
Okay, that is very interesting.
That makes sense,
No, yeah, it does, because as like a lot of I've heard like a lot of actors, they say that, like, sometimes being a certain person on set is, as you said, is totally different from them as a real life person. So doing like background work or just being on set helps them become better as a person. I've heard, and I'm just,
Absolutely.
and I've always like, how, like, you're so awesome at what you do, like how can you be so different? But then, when you get, when you're you're just you. When
Yeah.
you're playing somebody, it's a totally different person. That, like, sometimes you just, when it comes to the final product and you probably see yourself, you're just like, wow, I blew myself away.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, at the beginning of last year, I had the pleasure of going to the Philippines and doing an episode of a TV series called Almost Paradise.
Okay.
And I was playing I was an actor playing an actor who had been like an action star in the
Mm.
80s. So, and he was a bit of a buffoon. And I really went for it. And it's one of the few things that I've watched that I can watch myself because it's so, it's all the things that I am not.
Yeah.
And I had such a fun time watching the episode because he's really fun and brave and stupid in a, in a glorious way. If you ever get the chance to check it out, it's a mad episode of a fun series. But yeah,
Definitely.
so yeah, but I couldn't have done that
Mm.
if I hadn't had the experiences of doing those things. Like, I love doing comedy. I'm generally playing the straight guy. But I'm happy to take a pie in the face. My acting hero is Cary Grant, who is
Okay.
do you know who Cary Grant is?
I do.
Amazing actor through the 30s, 40s, 50s, into the
Okay.
60s of
Yeah.
last century. Just elegant, or he was always suave and debonair, but can take a pratfall. It's like George
Mm.
Clooney is the same. There's something he can be so proud and serious and then just trip over and fall on his face. And
Yeah.
I love doing that stuff. I love that stuff. And the voice work has made me a lot braver.
That is awesome to hear. That for anybody pursuing that, that's awesome to hear. Acting, it's just awesome to hear, like, just that from another actor, that, even though they're their own person, but doing something else can make them braver, or whatever they're trying to feel out of, let's say, that character, or just in life in general.
Yeah. Well, but that's what I loved first about being an actor is
Mm.
that you get to be someone else. You put on a costume, you find the right shoes. Like, for me, every character that I play, like on stage or on film or on TV, it's all about the shoes and the hair. I
Mm.
change my hair color, the style, the shape of it, but you find the right shoes, so you walk in a different way. You find a different physicality, and you place yourself in a totally different physical space that uh, it opens up a whole different world of possibility of who you are and what you can convey and what you can take and what you can give, and that's wonderfully freeing. And the more you do
Yeah.
it, the better you become at it. And you get to work with other actors who influence the way you do and the way you craft your work. I've had the incredible luxury of working with extraordinary actors, and
That's awesome.
they have gifted me pride in myself and my work, and have, by watching them, uh, learned how to be better and good at what I do. And you know, I'm pretty happy with where I am and what I do, and You know, it's all about turning up on time and knowing your lines and being kind to everyone and paying
Definitely.
respect, and then having the best time you can. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. It's pretty
So,
awesome.
so if you wasn't doing acting, what would you be doing?
Oof. I have no idea. I wanted to be an actor. That's all I ever wanted to be. Even before I sort of had words. For me, it all really started because I grew up in you know, on an orchard. We didn't even live in town,
Yeah.
and the town that was closest was like 500 people. But that allowed me an incredible freedom. All I did was sing.
Okay.
I, I love singing because you can tell a whole story in 3.5 minutes. Um,
Definitely.
through my parents, I gained a great love for musical theater. My mom was obsessed with like Rodgers and Hammerstein, and that was our record collection. And back in the days when we had actual records,
Yeah.
um, and but the radio was always playing, always. Whether you were in the house, because I'm number 4 of 5 children. So
Oh
by the
wow.
time by the time they got to me, they were over doing anything or worrying about it. It was just like, oh, get out of my way, just stay there or leave. Hey, here, have breakfast, get out of the house, go away. But I've got a really good ear for music, and for some reason a very good memory for learning lyrics. And so I apparently, according to my mom, I sang every song. I knew every song that's on the radio. I can pretty much hear a song a couple of times and know most of it. And when I was a kid, I just didn't shut up. I just sang. I sang the whole time, and I still love it. It frightens me. Like I can't do karaoke. That's way too stressful. But I love to sing. I love singing. I'm not the greatest singer in the world, but I can tell a story and I can sing a song, and it's a wonderful way of connecting to an emotion, whether
Yes.
it's happiness or sadness or loss. And in a song, it's so succinct, it's so precise, and
Yes.
you can give so much. And that's where my heart really went. So in answer to your question, I would always be in the arts. It's all I've ever
Yeah.
wanted to do, was to be a singer. And then I discovered theater and acting, and that kind of took away.
That brings it all
But
together basically. Because
yeah,
I know they're singers and then they sing for a while and then they're like, I want to go into acting. And then they do acting. And then some of their acting has a little singing in it. So they're in their same field no matter what.
yeah. But I also had like when I started out, because I'm a complete control freak, I sort of went into stage management.
Okay.
I did a lot of that as well, because as a way of getting into the theater, it
Yes.
also, it was a nice little sideline. So I'm even though I'm not organized in my life, I'm really good at telling people what to do. And I'm really good at making sure they turn up on time and are respectful and play the game properly. So I was a really good stage manager as well, but I haven't done that for a long time. But that was another wonderful thing to be a part of and get to know people and see how watching how a director works, how
Mm.
they talk to an actor, how actors respond, the whole mechanisms of what goes into making theater and
Yes.
TV and film. Having those skills, I think, is really important. You've got to know all the aspects. And so whenever I turn up on set or I'm on stage, I'm poking my nose into every bit of it. I want to know where the camera is, what the lens is, what people are doing. I love being directed. I'm a director's actor. I'm not an improviser. I like a script. I like working it. I like having that regiment to do it.
Okay.
And it's knowing all those things just feed into the magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
And so talking about your theater work, I've from what I've seen, you did like about six theaters. You've been in six theaters. I guess production, I can say. And which one has been like your favorite?
I've done like 30 theater
productions. Okay,
you might
so
have
my
looked
research.
Yeah, you might not have looked at the full CV.
Probably not.
Yeah, I've been in about I think 30, 35, 40 plays,
Wow.
Musicals, one random opera, but we won't count that because I was really bad. Okay, what has been my favorite? Well, again, the musicals really stand out for me.
Okay.
Doing Assassins by Stephen Sondheim
Okay.
was that's one of the few times that I've actually pursued a role of going to play John Wilkes Booth in that show. I was obsessed. As soon as I heard that show, it's like, I want to play that role. And it was, funnily enough, going to be directed by my best buddy, Simon Bennett, who's just taken over Power Rangers, because he's an amazing director as well. And it's not that I threatened not to be his friend anymore if he didn't cast me, but it may have been implied. And it was extraordinary. I mean, no one came to it, but we had the best time. And I've done it.
Okay.
You know, I've got to do amazing plays. A lot of American plays, the Glass Menagerie and Assassins. I toured both New Zealand and Australia in Blood Brothers, which was, when you work for a year, just doing one show is amazing because you get to be really good at it. I love doing new work. I've had the great luxury. I got about 5 years ago foisted upon a director. He was directing a show down in the lower part of the island at a theater, and an actor pulled out, and so I just was shoved in there and had the best time. And then he subsequently has, because he's an amazing director and dramaturg and editor, he's got these great new plays, and getting to do something for the first time that's pretty special. That's really special. So I've like 3 years ago, I did my first ever one-man show, solo show. It's a whole different ball game.
I bet. When it's just you, it's just you. So you have to do everything.
So keeping 36 pages of dialogue and song in your head, and not having anyone else to bounce off. Because I love being a collaborative supporting actor. I love working with actors because they feed you so much. But suddenly having this experience of doing it all on my own was scary. It was the scariest, most exciting, most exhilarating, and I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud. And I really hope we get to do it again once we're back in and doing theater again, which is just starting to creep in. But here, everything that got cancelled in 2020 is now being put on in 2021. So everything's just being shoved back. So hopefully I'll get back to doing that again.
Definitely. I hope so. A lot of actors or just comedians, or it's weird for them to not work because they're always working or they're always doing something, and then to hear that is just like, I miss work, I can't really like relax that much, or like, okay, I'm relaxed, I want to go back to work, and it sucks for a lot of them.
But
Especially,
it's been extraordinary how people have found new ways of
yeah,
doing it, and yay the internet.
yes, definitely,
See, there are so many more YouTube series.
yes,
Both Netflix and Amazon and Neon have given so many, and podcasts. Suddenly,
yeah,
people are finding ways. The art will always come through. Art will, that's the first thing since we were cavemen and women.
yeah,
Entertaining other people, whether it's by singing a song or falling on your face or making a joke, whatever, building something. Art will always survive. It's what enriches and enlivens our lives, and that will never go away. We will always find a way. Be strong, people. Come
yes,
back.
definitely. I will definitely agree with you. There's a lot out there for you to just do something, even if like you miss, let's say you like you miss, if you miss acting, you can go on a podcast and talk about acting and do some acting work, or even go like, not everybody's on like social media, but like going on social media and doing like a little skit here and there, that's you, that like, you coming alive there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, see, this is the thing. I mean, because normally, previously, I probably wouldn't have done like the interview with the Morphin Net and
yeah,
or even be here with you.
thank you.
But it's a wonderful way of just keeping the love alive. And so,
Definitely.
thanks for reaching out. Thanks for caring about my work. I'm
I
thrilled.
definitely appreciate that you want that you have the time and that you can come on, and because a lot, I know, you know even interviewing is not a lot, as a lot of people don't like it. They just, they don't want to talk about their work, or like they know what they've done, so they don't want to, like, I guess, go over it. But I do appreciate you coming on today to talk about it, because there's a lot of people that want to hear about like how they started acting, or what drives them to this, and you're speaking about it today, which is great, and I love it myself.
Cool. I'm I'm absolutely thrilled to be here, and I'm really grateful to have the opportunity because I do love what I do,
Good.
and it's vital. I think as I said on Morphin Net, and it's an old cliche about being an actor, that if there is anything that you can imagine yourself doing, then go do that, because this is a tough life.
Yes.
You're constantly being rejected, whether you're about your face, the sound of your voice,
Yes.
your age, the way you look, the way you're too tall, you're too short, you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're not right. Everything is someone else's opinion and what they do. So you have to develop a
Tough
thick
skin.
skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. But you can't let that get in the way of what you do, because there's only one you.
Definitely.
And you've just got to be the best you that you can be, and it's great that the people like you have found this forum to do something that you care about.
Yeah.
That you've taken your love of TV and its ranges and have turned it into your own craft, man. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Yeah. This all came about like fairly just weird, because COVID happened. I got furloughed. Was very sad, and I was just like, I want to go back to work, and then I found work, but I wasn't like too happy of what the work I was doing. Like, I didn't mind it. I can adapt to anything, and tough labor is never really a challenge for me. But like, I was just like, I'm not happy, because as me, I work with animals, so like,
Okay.
I love what I do, and like the last job I was in, it wasn't with animals, but it was in the field with animals. But I wanted more, and then I got camera equipment and all this to help in conventions and stuff, but then COVID happened, and then that made me even bother me even more, and I was just like, I have all this equipment and nothing to do with it. So I was just like, why don't I just start a podcast or
Yeah,
something, even if it doesn't go nowhere, at least I like it. I love it. And
exactly, exactly.
and I told my friend that runs the MDMC, and she was just like, go for it. If this is something that you want to do, I'll help you out and we can fix this out. So it's there.
Yeah. It's
Wherever it
amazing what
goes.
happens when you put yourself out there and just
Yeah,
say, "I've got an idea."
yeah,
If you find the courage to speak it out loud,
yeah.
it's like we have this. Funnily enough, one of the last plays that I did was about calling things into being,
Mm,
making it happen. Because it takes courage, it
yes.
takes bravery to put yourself out there. So kudos, dude.
Or even in
Glad
front of
you're
a
doing it.
camera.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh
um,
yeah. Are
yeah.
you used to it yet? Are you used to watching yourself?
Yes and no. Like sometimes I don't want to see myself, so like I'll just listen, but then I don't want to listen to myself. But then I'm just like, if this is what I like and this is what I want to keep doing, even if it's just a hobby, and if it gets bigger, then that's great. I gotta get used to this. I gotta like get used to looking at myself or hearing myself at least.
You do. Welcome to my world.
Thank you. So before we end our show, um, do you have anything inspirational? I know you said a lot of inspirational stuff today, but any inspiration for like people that want to get into acting or voice acting or even theater work? Like, what would you say to them?
I would say, what would I say? I would say watch everything you can. Watch movies. Watch TV. Figure out what you like, what you don't like, why you like it, and what you don't like, and question your own choices. Um, because it does take courage, and it is a skill, and it is an art to be good at it. And because as I mentioned before, there's a lot of rejection, there's a lot of brutality in it, but there are great joys. There are really great joys. But watch, listen, and you also have to look after your instrument. My body, my voice, my skin, the way I look, that's my instrument. So you got to take care of it. That's why you drink a lot of water, and moisturize.
That's very important, I gotta say.
Yeah, but it's great. Watch things. I love movies. I watched last night. Watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom on Netflix, and
Okay.
just saw this incredible performance by Chadwick Boseman. His last performance before he died, and
Mm,
was inspired all over again to go, oh God, that's amazing. That's because you've got to just find the joy,
yes.
find the joy, find what gives you joy, find what can impart joy to others, because that's what life is about. Life is short. Take care of it, take care of yourself, take care of other people, love what you do, find something that you love. And if you can't do it for your job, find little ways, find the podcast, find
Yes.
the thing that you do, learn, read, fill your mind, whether it be poetry or literature or film or TV. Fill your life with love, and that love is going to transcend. And that's what it's about.
Yes, yes. That's perfect. I
All
gotta say
right.
that's definitely perfect. I really appreciate that, and I hope the viewers that are watching or listening are really take that fully in like I did today.
Thanks, man.
Well, time to end the show. I really appreciate you being on it today. I really appreciate you talking about your past work and what you've loved and what you want to continue doing. Where can people find you? I know not a lot of actors are on social media, but where can people find you or look up your work if they wanted to?
Oh, well, if they want to look up my film and TV work, you might go to my IMDb page, Andrew Laing. You just look for the old grey guy with the grey beard, because it's a really common name, as it turns out. There are a few actors and people in this industry who are Andrew Laing. I'm not on a lot of social media, but I am on Instagram. Not that I post very often, but Andrew R. Laing, Laing, the Scottish spelling of it. So I post on Instagram there a little bit, just when I've got something to say or see something beautiful that I just want to share with people.
That's
That's where
awesome.
yeah, man.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And as everybody knows, you can find me on its_official on Instagram. Or you can find me on MDMC Entertainment's page, which is Facebook or Instagram. Find us there. And for anybody that's watching today, please like and subscribe. That always helps. And that's the end of our episode. So everybody have a good day.